Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here, and tonight I'm joined by Chuck.
Good evening, everyone.
And we got Stormcatcher,
Hello, everyone.
and we got Cindy Dakota.
Hello.
And the title of today's show, we've got some nice comments about this one, is Intercept This. And then for some strange reason, there's a dot, an L, and then a dot and a dot. Now, what that's supposed to represent, I'll leave that open to your own interpretation. I'm just saying. We've had some pretty interesting comments on the title show name already, So yeah, their shipwrecks is going on. Anybody doing it?
I claimed one. I have 6,000 points. And then I put my ships away.
I messed around with one.
I hit one, but then after what happened, I'm like, nope, I was out.
Okay, so what happened?
I got on about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when I knew a lot of people were in bed and asleep. I hit a shipwreck that was the closest one to me. I went in, I won the shipwreck. When I popped back out, there was about 10 or 15 people sitting out there waiting on me. So they knocked me out. I went and looked at the locator, and everything else was still unowned. I'm sitting there watching them battle over that one shipwreck while nobody was touching the rest of them. So when I saw that, it was like, no, forget it.
So I wonder why they were doing that. Did they just not have common sense to go grab the other ones, or what's the deal there?
I have no earthly idea. I didn't even ask.
And we got Watchman who jumped in here too. How's it going, Watchman?
Hi guys.
Hey, Watchman.
Yeah, I'm
You
having a lot. Sorry, having a lot of game issues. So I haven't myself personally been able to enter the shipwreck event because most of the battles I try and get into, I don't get into. You know, I just get a never-ending screen, loading screen, and that's it. So I've just been doing everything I can do on auto really today. Iris.
That seems to be a fairly common problem in events anymore, doesn't it? Like joining battles.
Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with it recently. For about last week, I did last week as well with the raid as well. I was having trouble for the first day or two. I finally managed to get on, but I did send a ticket in, and they gave me 150 gold for it, so it wasn't too bad. But it was annoying that I lost a few days, but yeah, I got what I wanted. So that was last week. This week in the shipwreck, seems to be having the same issues again. I'm getting into combat. Even trying to watch if a base is being hit or a battle's going on, just trying to click on it and open it. I'm getting the eternal loading screen. I've done choice of routes. I've checked every connection from my part. I even tried different computers. No, it's no change, So.
Hey, Ross. Better late than never. Are you there, Ross? Oh, Ross. All right, Ross might be having technical issues. We'll come back to him. So, I mean, what's mainly keeping you guys from participating, honestly? Y'all said you did one and then said, yeah, screw that. Is it can't connect to battles, or just still yet again the whole setup of the event itself, or?
For me, it's more, they've only got 3 alliance ones out there. How are you supposed to help your alliance when you can't even get into a target for them?
Actually, it's up for me. Well, after what happened, but go in with your fleet and get hit with fleets that's got upgrades that you can't defend against.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've gone over this a few times, but the fact that the whole shipwreck and the intercept premise was meant to be that it was down to skill, and then they introduced upgrades, completely negated the original premise of what they were launching. So that really turned me off of interceptor battles. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've beaten the new demon hold or whatever it is with my bloodwings. I managed to do a test with somebody. So yeah, they're not the be all and end all of fleets, but the point is, when they're allowing upgrades and everything, it just unbalanced everything. It fucked it. Sorry, and it just turned me off of it. It just really did.
The new ship that came out in the last raid seems to be dominating the battles, and it's not even upgraded yet.
Oh, okay. I did beat a fleet of them with bloodwings, so and my bloodwings weren't upgraded, so it might have been down to the driver. I'm not going to name him, obviously.
Well, I mean, CM Gilly said they were getting all kinds of great feedback on the shipwrecks. I'd love to meet people who are giving them this great feedback, because I have not talked to anybody who has had great feedback about this event.
Feedback, internal feedback, I think is,
The only
And how much are they
feedback
getting paid for this feedback?
I think it's the top alliances, the ones they're taking the feedback from.
Well, I'm not even sure about that, because I know a lot of those guys don't even like to do the event. I mean, now I know some of them like it because their alliance members can carry them through the event. But as far as them themselves enjoying to do it, they don't like doing it.
Not mentioning names, but I know somebody that I talked with last night. He had 300 and something thousand points, and he hasn't even hit a single shipwreck.
So all you got? I had over 500k points, and I haven't hit one yet. This is what I'm saying. It depends what alliance you're in, and I've mentioned this before. Look, yeah, I'm in one of the top 10, top 11, 12 alliances, and we're doing okay. The point is, probably 3/4 of our alliance have not done much, including myself, and we have gained a lot of points through non-participation. More points than somebody that has been working hard all week probably would have got their own, And yeah, I don't think that's right. I really don't. I don't agree it's a balanced game. Another thing that turns me off of this shipwreck.
Well, and they keep saying, well, you asked for a co-op event and this is it. Well, it's not even a co-op event, because a co-op event means, like, if I'm participating in a co-op event, that means I actually have to do something. This is not a co-op event. This is an event where other people are just flat out carrying. And I don't think that's what anybody ever asked for. They asked for more co-op play, but they didn't ask for more, hey, can you just make an event where people can carry me if I don't feel like playing?
Well, one thing we really wanted co-op was the TLCs to help, lower levels that were in our alliances, but that ain't happening.
No, they're very few and far between.
Are you there, Ross? No, still can't hear you, bud. Poor Ross. Having issues. All right, bud. Well, we'll see you next week. Hopefully things will work out better for you then. So, I mean, but it seems like every time we talk about shipwrecks, it always comes back to the same fuck upgrades and make things more balanced. It's like it always comes back to those same two things. And yet they can't seem to understand that.
Yeah, because that is the issue, isn't it? That is the issue. You know, that their premise was that it was down to, you know, a flat fleet. One drives that way, one drives that way, the other drives this way. You know, and if you can learn how to drive them or a mix of them, you know, then it's an even playing field. You know, when you're fighting another guy. But if suddenly that guy's got the same fleet as you and he's upgraded it, they've got the advantage, which was never meant to happen. You know, in the onset of releasing interceptors, so they unbalanced it themselves. They screwed it up. You know.
Yep. And I mean, they were told this when they first started talking about upgrades, and they just don't seem to care. So yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have anything positive to say about shipwrecks?
Nope.
Nope.
The skins look pretty. That's about it.
Yeah, only 500,000 points. Yeah.
I got some nail polish that looks better than them skins.
Yeah, the rest of us shouldn't be commenting on that one.
Hey, what you do in your own home is entirely up to you.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look at the prices again. It's like, yeah, what 500,000 points for a ballista strike frigate skin? 500,000 points. Some people can only dream of getting that amount of points, and that's for a freaking skin. You know, I mean, I don't know. How stupid is it? You know.
Yeah, Carl
Point
says,
scale is stupid.
Carl says in chat the positive thing about shipwrecks is he has a free weekend as he's not doing them. Yeah, that's pretty much the same for me. I'm not doing them, so I have a free weekend. Was anybody VXP in anything? Oh, I didn't have to have anything to VXP. All my shit was done.
Yeah, ditto. Same here, really. Yeah. Yep.
I had one Dragoon, 2 Praetorians, and my E-Rad fleet, and 1 Dragon. I got all them up to legendary.
Yeah, if you're going to pick a weekend for your game to not be working that well, this is a good one.
Very good one.
Because there was no VXP for me to do, and shipwrecks is a complete cluster. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
My alt got his Praetorians and his Basilisk fleet upgraded. And for giggles, I decided to actually upgrade the Seawolves that I found in storage.
Oh yeah, I had my the flagship. I also upgraded on them. Oh, Seawolves? No, my icebreakers.
I was gonna say, if you Chuck, if you did Seawolves, I'm gonna not call you Chuck anymore. I'm gonna call you Daddy from now on. You can be the new Daddy. It took us like 5 years to get him away from Seawolves, and now you've taken over his spot apparently.
I was heartbroken when I had to scrap my Seawolves. They got me every special, all the components that you needed. I spent months running around the sector, hitting everything on the map. You know.
But on the bright side, next week we have Bounty, which they're going to have more shipwrecks on. So I'm sure you're all excited about that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it let me into a battle, but of course, by the time I got into the battle, it was already over. No connect, your connection failed a connection. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, Facebook's been black screening me lately. Suddenly a little timer pops up saying it's trying to load something and black screen. have to refresh.
I guess the only positive thing anybody can say about shipwrecks this week is, you win a battle, you got free repair.
Yeah, that was did they introduce that in the last shipwrecks that we had, I think?
No, it was after
No, this is
that.
the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That was
could've
the
swore
feedback from it.
I could have swore they put it in the last time. Or maybe they just talked about they were going to do it the last time but didn't actually do it. I don't know. I'm easily confused sometimes.
I think that's the only positive thing that came out of the discussion from the last shipwreck. Plus,
All
they
right,
handed out those free ships that nobody has room on their dock for.
Oh yeah, that
Right.
yeah. Were they Corsairs, weren't they, or something? Wasn't it 3 Corsairs?
Yeah, 3 of
No.
them.
It was,
Yeah.
No, I think it was frigates.
Oh, was it frigates? You
Strike
know what?
frigates.
Ironically, I scrapped 3 Corsairs, made space, and ended up getting 3 frigates. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm getting rid of these bloody things. I can only drive one fleet at a time. You know, I get so many of these intercepts in things. You know.
So it was a free 600,000 resources.
Yeah. That was good for resources, wasn't it?
Actually, yes and no, because if you build them in the Conqueror yard, you're using titanium. So when you scrap them, you don't get the titanium back.
Nah, I wasn't worried about it. I mean, it was full up. I'm actually maxed out with everything basically, but it was just, yeah, you know, I think they need to give us more dock space again. You know, like it's been a long time since they increased the dock space that we had, and now where we've got individual fleets for doing so many different individual tasks, it needs to be looked at again on how many hulls we can actually have in the shipyards. You know, in the dock. You know, it needs to
Well, I
increase.
mean, okay, that brings up actually an interesting question because, like, how many of those ships that you're hanging on to, say in your storage, for example, how many of them do you actually think you'll ever need again?
Well,
Or are you just hanging on to them for the sake of hanging on to them?
all right. So you've got what 4 or 5 like Conqueror fleets. You know, you've got your FM fleet plus a couple of previous FM fleets or same fleets because when you hang on to them because the TLCs that come dropping around and you never know when you're going to need them. So yeah, you do have a lot of them there.
Or even with the raids right now that you got, what you can use 2, 3 different type of fleets in the raids. If you can't get the S targets and stuff like that, you start using, maybe some of the other fleets. So you kind of hang on to them just to have, I guess.
And yeah, also
Well, yeah, but
chopping down in.
that's only 2 or 3 fleets out of your, 15, 16 slots you have available plus your storage.
But yeah, also dropping down in pillage and stuff like that,
Yeah,
because you might want a couple of fleets for that as well to drop down in pillage. So yeah, I mean, I can justify every fleet that I've currently got there. All of them have been.
I'm always curious as to when people say they have problems with that because I think even down below storage, I think I have like 7 boats, maybe 8, and the rest of mine is totally open. Because as soon as I run across something that I'm not using anymore, I get rid of it.
All right, I must admit, I mean, I still might have a Highlander in there and stuff like that, and a couple of the flagships that I've hung on to in storage, because you never know, because they do give a bonus reloads and things like that, and you never know, they could become useful at some stage, even dropping in the back of a guard fleet in your base, if they give a bonus to you guard. So you never know. So you kind of want to hang on to them just in case they could give you that little edge, that can make all the difference,
Well, what it was a fleet a good while back that It was an old hull that you could put in with it that gave you the bonus and everything. I can't remember which one it was, but it was last year.
There's a few like that, that give you a 50% reload and some evade bump and things, and to certain specials of certain weaponry, and you could chop them in and they still work. Yeah. So
well, most of that stuff though they've now started to limit to where only stuff will only be affected by flagships of its class or whatever for a lot of it.
yeah, I
Like,
understand.
like all the new boats are pretty much only affected by their new flag and not any of that old stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Or even if they are affected by the old stuff, it doesn't matter because that old hull can't go in the new target that you want to be doing.
That's true.
So like I finally the other day scrapped my Savage Kodiak and my Highlander nuke cruiser because I'm like I don't see me ever using these again. And even if I do, they're actually like a pretty quick build anymore. So it's like I'll just build them again real quick. I have to.
That's the one I was talking about, the Savage Kodiak.
Yeah. What was that? That gives you a 50% reload bonus on the missiles and stuff, wasn't it? And he's scarping.
I don't remember.
Can we go back to shipwrecks for a moment? I see
But anyway,
Ross has
yeah,
a comment.
So that was why basically I've hung on to some of them old ones just because you never know when they might become useful. Just even if only for a week or two, and save your ass.
What were you saying, Chuck?
I see Ross has a comment in the chat there. He's complaining about not being able to do shipwrecks because every time he goes into a target, he spawns on top of the other player instead of across from the player.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I'm like, well, that makes for a very quick fleet versus fleet battle, I suppose.
The element of surprise.
Yeah, I guess it's guerrilla warfare tactics. If I could talk, you jump right out of the bushes, annihilate each other, and then see who wins. So I guess that's one way to take. That's their second way to take skill out of this event, I suppose. Upgrades and spawn right on top of one another.
Supposedly, it's not a intended issue, according to Kix.
That's a feature. So I don't know. What else you guys want to talk about? This might be a rather quick show because shipwrecks is the main thing going on, and ain't nobody doing it. So
Focusing on the FM and not the 129s.
Well, I actually finished the FM because, as I said, I've been having connection problems in battle, and the FM is one thing I can do theoretically on auto, because I can just send the fleets out and I haven't got to worry about trying to connect up, So I've managed to get my FM done, but I couldn't do much else, But anything that could be done on auto, I've been doing.
I've seen some posts on the forums where some players are complaining that damage in the 120s has been up some.
don't we see those posts every single fucking week though?
Yeah, probably on a Monday when they haven't got their alliance points. But I haven't seen it. I can't say that I've noticed any difference.
Yeah, I couldn't say because I don't hit 120s anymore, so I don't know. I just auto 131s.
I normally do the 1-2 because everyone else is after the 120s, so I auto the 1-2, and that does me because I still get free. I get free map repair on those, so I try and be a considerate pirate.
What's what's everybody thinking of 129?
Ouch.
Yeah.
What's a 129?
It's the new FM
You get-
target.
Holy fucking mortars, Batman. That's all I had to say.
Well, you get twice the damage that you do in a 131. I mean, why do something that's going to pay you $2 million less to do? Common sense. Go for the ones going to give you less damage and pay you more.
Oh, those targets in here you take less damage on?
131, yes. It's a little over 2 hours damage.
Oh, well, 4 to 5 hours for me. And I don't know why.
So what does that pay out?
131 is 10 mil.
The 129 is 7 mil.
7, I thought it was 8. Oops.
I think it's 7.
Okay. So I've got to hit. Right. So in about, 20 minutes, I can, at the worst, I can send 5 of my ships out 3 times, get 9 mil for free repair. In under half an hour, I can do 4 of, I can hit 20 targets, get 12 mil with no repair. And I haven't got the 2.5 hour repair or 2 hour repair, what people get for into 130s. So within half an hour, I've beaten that, As I say, at the end of the night, yeah, I can imagine hitting a couple of 131s and things like that and go to bed and put it on a long repair, But if you've got an hour or two to spare, just go out and hit the 120s, 121s.
I myself, if I have an hour or two to spare, there's probably other shit I'd rather be doing than farming my FM, to be totally honest. That's why I just go auto 131s, and then I can usually do like 5 of them, and then have to repair overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been here all the time to play. I mean, yesterday I was out filming the wedding all day. So, I've only managed to get on the FM for a day there and a bit today and everything like that. But I finished it. I got probably about almost 300 bloody million. I ended up getting too many points and I got carried away and forgot how many I needed. But it's just grinding away while I'm watching YouTube videos on the other screen. It's easy to do. If you've got 5 of the right ships,
There was something I wanted to talk about that came up last night, or not last night, but last week, that people seem to totally, I don't know if they're misunderstanding a mechanic or just using the word improperly, but they keep saying that the targets in this last raid format have priority targeting. They don't. They target slot number 5. There's a difference between the two.
Yeah.
Because priority targeting means they always go after your lowest ship. Therefore, if I would take my number 5 ship and put it in slot number 4, it would still keep going after number 4 because it has the lowest health. But that's not what happens. So it's actually not priority targeting. That's what's going on in these events. It's just ship slot number 5 is getting focused on.
Annihilated.
And it's not supposed to be happening. What was that, Simba?
I said they get annihilated.
Yeah.
Or try to.
So that was just something I wanted to throw out from last week's show. That, like I said, I don't know if people were not understanding exactly what priority targeting was, or if they were just misusing the term, or what was going on. But I just want to kind of clear that up a little bit.
Well, it's Kick's priority targeting 1 slot. It's their priority targeting, not the way we understand it. If you can say it that way.
Yeah, I mean, well, anybody who's been playing this game for a long time knows that that's been an issue that's been cropping up here and there all over the place for ages. Like, I remember back years ago where it always used to be slot number 1 was always the problem.
Yeah, it's not an anomaly because so many players are saying that it's always like ship number 5 that's taking the most damage, and I'm finding it myself as well, obviously, as well as hundreds, if not thousands, of other players. That slot 5 for some unknown reason is taking vastly more damage than any other hole.
Like, I see Ross is in chat. I'm sure Ross remembers when it was slot number 1 that always took the most. Because that was the big conspiracy then, because it was like, I know flagships were kind of a new thing at that point. And we're like, yeah, we spend all this extra time building the flags, and now you're going to make it take all the extra damage, blah, 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 blah. So... yeah, that was a big conspiracy theory back then. Yeah, and you tank them up and put loads of extra countermeasures on them and stuff like that, But it doesn't seem to matter because they're hitting the 5th one, So, and I've even had players, saying that they're even putting load of countermeasures on the hole number 5, and extra armor tanking that one up, and it's still not making any difference. It's still taking the damage. Well, it's still going to take. It still takes more damage, but I've actually set my number 5 up as countermeasure ship and went ballistic heavy on the armor and the specials, and you can tell a difference. It definitely lasts longer for sure, but yeah, it still does take the most out of anything. But I mean, at least now that we know that that's what's going on, we can try to play around it a little bit. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay that way the whole. Well, I say the whole cycle through, the whole one next cycle, because we only have like 2 raids in a cycle now. Well, it's a mechanic they've built into the game, so it makes it harder to do multiple targets with the same fleet if one of them is taking an inordinate amount of damage. It means that we can, if the others are only taking, like, say, 10% damage and one's taking 50% damage, it means it's harder for us to go back in, hit multiple targets without repairing. Not really, because all you got to do is pull back in your base and move your slots around. But it's just a pain in the ass to do it that way, that's all. Yeah. So, what else we got, people?
Anybody do the TLC?
Nope.
I'll be honest. Had time.
I'll be honest. Today was the first I logged into the game in 2 or 3 days. And the only reason I did is because you guys said about free fleets, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I got that.
I started it when my game was playing all right. I started it, and it was okay. But I've only done the very first level. I haven't had a chance to get any further because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm having trouble getting into battle. And obviously, you have to be able to play properly. Well, so I'm waiting. Hopefully, my game will play properly in the morning, and I'll complete it. I'll do it.
Well, Prize Pack 1 and Prize Pack 2 has 2 hours. They're relatively easy. Prize Pack 3 is an hour, but you've got 7 levels to get through. So that leaves you about 8-point-something minutes to get through each target.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's not going to be a slow, skillful thing. I understand that. It's going to be drive like you stole it, and it kind of, you just got to go and crash for real.
I'll be honest. I look at some of these TLCs, and there's certain boats that if I see they require those boats, I don't even try the TLC.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do it, once I get to the higher up in the levels, then I'll throw a Grease Monkey crew on, and to keep the damage down and just like crash through it, because it still works out cheaper getting them tokens than it would be to pay for the, to speed like a Gorgon up or something like that, a build up. So, yeah. But again, it's like as we've said in the past, it's what you see value in the game, whether you think that's worth it or not to you.
Like, I know me, myself, my Saturns never actually came out working the way that I wanted them to. So anytime I see a TLC that involves Saturn, I'm like, nope, I ain't doing that. And kind of like the same, honestly, with my Eradicators, because I originally had an Eradicator build that worked really good, and I liked a whole lot. And then that's when they changed all that stuff from defense to survivability, and my Eradicators just never recovered from that. And I'm not going to invest shipyard time in trying to fix them at this point. That'd just be stupid and a waste of my time. So I'm kind of the same with TLCs. I see that use them. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not doing that.
Well, I tried it because I wouldn't mind having another Carnage and another Gorgon, but, well, yeah. Trying to hit 7 levels in, well, yeah, in 1 hour, that ain't happening.
You couldn't do it, no?
No. I got down to the last stage, and I probably needed maybe another minute or two. I would have had it. But time ran out on me.
So I've not tried it yet. See, I think I've only ever done one TLC in the past where the time actually run out of me. I just thought, yeah, sod that. You know, that's just ridiculous. But, and so I haven't seen it myself yet. So yeah, I will give it a go when the game starts playing properly. We've still got a few days left on it yet, haven't we? So, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, there are certain TLCs that, like, you know, just based on the targets, that it's easy to just bull rush through them or whatever, because that's the way they're designed to be set up and ran. But then there's others where if you have to do a whole lot of kiting and all that kind of shit, and you're looking at 7 battles in a minute, yeah, it's 7 battles in a minute. Listen to me, 7 battles in an hour. It's really pushing it sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of time. It really doesn't.
Well, you use Saturns and the Nemesis, but you got to think there is so many separate targets that was made for these sets, because when they had this TLC last time, I was able to get through Prize Pack 3. But in this one, they have changed up some of the targets.
I look at some of these TLCs and I look at them and say, well, is this really going to be worth those tokens at the end? If not, I'll skip right past doing it.
But see, it depends on the holes that you're building, obviously, and where you are, and you know, and what tokens you actually need. I suppose. Yeah, it's individually down to what the player's got built and has or hasn't. You know, whether that's going to be of value to them, and of course how much damage it's going to cause them. You know, so we all evaluate, you know, whether it's worth it to us or not. To me, yeah, it's still worth doing, because I still want to get one more Gorgon built. And that'll give me the tokens for it. So yeah, I will do it. I'll try it, attempt it, I'll say.
All right, goofy question for you guys. Is anyone having trouble doing like River Tide? We have to click on the tower again. 'Cause you were able to do it from base not long ago.
Yeah,
like it was doing that for a while, then it started working, and now it's back at it.
Yeah, I have to go outside my base to get it running.
Okay, I just want to make sure if it wasn't just me or what the heck.
It was never broken. They broke it. They fixed it. And then the last update broke it again.
They just need to stop flipping that switch.
They need to stop fixing things, because every time they fix one thing, they break 3 others.
3? Damn, that's low. Thought they broke more than that.
I'm trying to keep the show on the positive side. What can I say?
I know.
Ninja Penguin in chat says you can still do it from the base with a trick. Share your trick with us, oh mighty Master Ninja.
Please.
I've always wondered if there's a sort of monthly prize at Kickstarter who can screw the most things up. You know? Who can get the
Maybe
most?
they're taking bets.
Yeah, who can get the most negative comments for the actual stuff that they implemented? You know, like.
He says if it starts combat and it doesn't light up, click on any other campaign and then back real quick.
All right, I'll try it. I'm actually doing it right now.
And Magic Mike says on the third run through, you have to put a fleet outside your portal. Otherwise, you'll get stuck.
Jesus.
And Exile Irish says that the way Ninja explained it works fine for him.
So if you scratch kick size back,
I'm not making a comment on that one.
Oh, by the way, whoever said that they sent in a ticket earlier and gets 100 coin, I sent in when I send in a ticket, my reply is "sucks to be you."
Well, I got 150. Now I sent it in. I got an answer by a player expert, and it's like, "Are you happy with this?" So I thought, "Am I fuck?" Sorry for my language, So I took it further, and then and they went, "Oh, we're sorry," and I got they actually give me 150. I thought, but don't get me wrong, I very rarely do send in tickets. Right? I'm not one of these people that sends in a ticket on every silly little thing, and I get screwed over so many times on when the game's not loading properly and stupid things. You can't get in the battles, yeah. So I'm not a ticket maniac, so I send them in rarely. But this time I pushed it forward, and I mentioned that I said, like, I don't send tickets like superfluously, but this time, I'm getting sick and tired of it. You've done me again, multiple times, and I expect some recompense from it, and they did. They give me 150.
Well, I tell you, what really annoys me sometimes, though, is I put a ticket in and I tell them an issue and they send me gold. And I'm like, I don't want fucking gold. I want you to fix the goddamn problem.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a problem now for like 4 months and you've known about it. I told you, I personally had discussions with the team about this problem and it's still going on. Like, stop trying to buy me off. Just fix the goddamn problem.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, Damnation. Which team was it?
Well, it depends on what any given issue is, because I talk to lots of the team members, like on a fairly regular basis. So,
Okay, was it the team before Still Front or the team after Still Front?
oh, it's been both. I talked to the current team just as much as what I did the previous team.
I still have that picture in my mind of Monty Python when they changed the titling scene. Sorry. And it's all about the llamas and stuff like that. If you've ever seen the movie, you'll get where I'm coming from. But the second team is completely different to the first team. And it's like, and it's yeah. That's all where my my it comes from. Yeah.
All right, so here, real quick, I'm going to bring up the thing for BP next week so we can go over that, and then we can kind of talk about whatever we want to after that. Hang on. I haven't had to do screen share on this for a while, so bear with me while I look at my. There it is. All right, everybody can see that, yeah?
Yeah, it's quite a biggie, actually, isn't it? I can't see it on here, but yeah. I've actually got it up on my own. Yeah.
So on Monday, of course, they're going to do the update notes as always. And I guess Tuesday is Bounty 24 briefing. And I found this interesting. I'm going to read this out loud, and you tell me if you guys got the same thing from it that I did. Bounty 24 features higher payouts on Kixeye replica bases, the return of shipwrecks, and new turret and defender hull upgrades. Do you guys read that as we're now going to be getting turret upgrades?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And defender
Oh
holes. Yeah.
Jesus!
Well, we've always had defender hull upgrades, but we've never
Yeah.
had turret upgrades before, and that just leads me to believe the way that reads that we're now going to have turret upgrades.
Mm.
Yeah, and then on the 25th, bounty begins. So yeah, so it'll be another nice quiet week for me again next weekend. So thanks for that, Kixeye.
Depends what the upgrades are, obviously, because obviously until we get the actual the full briefing and see what the actual upgrades are, you know.
Dude, I don't give a fuck what the upgrades are. They shouldn't be in the goddamn game. Period.
Well, at least they won't be in the shipyard.
I wouldn't put it past them. They'd probably find a way. They're probably gonna find a way to put it in there.
It's probably going to cost titanium and uranium.
Well, in actual fact, they will be in the probably the other shipyard because it says new defender hull upgrades, doesn't it? It says new turret and defender hull upgrades. So I would assume that would be in the red shipyard, you know.
Yeah, but turret defenses, they gonna have that in the foundry, or they gonna have that in the retrofit?
That's the thing we don't know, you know. Yeah.
It'll probably be on each turret to piss us off.
It's not a turret; it's a turret.
Did you just I'm gonna have to kick you out of the show. That's what we're gonna do. For now, from now on, anytime anybody calls a turret, I'm kicking them out.
I'm not calling it a dang thing.
Next, we're not going to be calling it the shooty thing.
And today on Turret Affairs. Anyway. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's as we know, Bounty always introduces a few more PvP aspects to the game, as it should do, because that's what it's meant to be, you know. But there's always the argument from players that don't like to do PvE. They want to be able to still defend their bases, and you kind of have to do that to be able to get the new turret and defender upgrades, you know. So you're kind of forced into it even if you're not really into it, you know. So
Well, it's just, to me, it's shitty. I mean, I think that defense stuff should be in PvE events, and all your offense stuff should be in your PvP events.
yeah, I think if the game was more on a level playing field, more fair, yeah, the bounty would just offer attacking hulls, you know, and attacking stuff, you know, like, you know, whereas defensive stuff could be picked up during the course of natural gameplay, you know, in other events, you know, maybe raids and stuff like that, you know.
I just wonder how much money they cost themselves by putting defense stuff in things like bounty all the time, because like the people who go nut crazy and, like, you know, spend tons of money are going to spend that ton of money no matter where it is in the game, whether it's in, you know, PvP event or a PvE event. But people who only want the stuff to defend their bases aren't going to have attacking hulls, so they're not even going to be participating in bounty. So if they would have been, you know, say a little bit motivated to spend some money when it's in a PvE event, like, they're not going to spend any money in a PvP event because they don't even have the shit to participate in it.
Yeah.
So I just wonder how much money they cost themselves by having it set up.
Yeah, I think they yet again they get the balance wrong, you know, in where they're offering stuff and how they're doing it, you know, because say not everybody wants to do PvP, but everybody wants to be able to defend, you know. So yeah. I always think maybe the defensive stuff and things like that should be included in raids or in a more sensible event, in a PVE style thing. And if you want to get the hulls to break it, or hopefully break it, because nothing's guaranteed, then you go out and you do bounty and you work for that and you win them, and then the cycle is always continually. It keeps going on, obviously, because that's the whole point of this game, and it keeps moving, it keeps going forwards. You know what I mean? It's like it keeps going up. One more rung up the ladder every time. So we understand that, but it's the way that it's distributed that is the problem.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left if we want to. So if anybody has anything else that want to talk about that we haven't touched on, I'm just going to go down the list. Simba, you got anything you want to talk about we haven't talked about yet?
No, thank you.
Stormcatcher?
No, nothing to talk about.
All right. Chuck?
Briefings. Are they going to actually release the briefing in full, or are they going to wait until, I don't know, a half hour before the event to drop an actual prize list, like they did for Shipwrecks?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that.
Also, how many deals does everyone have right now?
Well,
I think 13.
Notice
don't know.
they're mixed raid and pre-bounty.
I got 3.
I just went idle, so I'm not sure. I have to refresh.
I got one stinking deal. And it's for subjugators, which I've already got done, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, it's completely fucking useless. Sorry, language. Apologies for, But, yeah, one deal, and it's for subjugators, which is already done. I've already built and done, yeah. So it's completely useless.
Did anybody even had a remote thought about the deal they had out yesterday for the U3 Dragoons?
Yep.
I thought about it and I decided I'll let it go.
Well, my Dragoon's already at one at U3 anyway, so I've got more built than at U3. I had them done before the raid, so. Which was even more frustrating when the game crept out of me before the raid and I couldn't even use them. You know what I mean? That's why I sent the ticket. I said, yeah, I've just, I did pay for the upgrade because they offered an upgrade it was quite low. I think it's about, I did check my bank account earlier when I spent on it. I was thinking it's about £15 here, £14.82 or something like that, yeah. To upgrade them to U3. Yeah. And then the game crept out and I couldn't use them. And I was quite annoyed and I didn't make that quite clear on the ticket.
Yeah.
That I've just paid for something that I can't even freaking use. And if I can't use them, I will be getting my money back. Yeah.
I've been seeing a few posts on the forums about people having problems. They're buying gold and all that and not getting it.
I've had that happen.
Fortunately, I've not had that, But of course, you've always got your bank or PayPal, whatever, that can verify,
and to answer your earlier question about how many deals, I have 14 at the moment.
14? I've got 1.
I have 14.
It depends on what you already have built and all that.
That was probably on one last time you reloaded the game on this, too. Because it looks like several of mine might have just came up in the past half hour or so.
Let's try and refresh again. Mind you, sometimes it takes me about 8 refreshes just to get comms up,
Because I got instant upgrade Dragoons, I got an outfitted subjugator, I got Ironclaw Dragoon tokens, like 3 different varieties of those. 3 different varieties of regular Dragoons.
I did have all that before, but that's all gone now. It's all that was offered to me before, but obviously they're all done. But they've all gone now, so I've got 1 offer left. So I'm waiting for it to load again. It's not in a hurry.
Yeah, Exile Irish brings up a good point. If you stop throwing money at the game like a madman, you'd probably have more deals. Just saying.
I haven't gone mad. I really haven't. That was the only thing I bloody bought was the upgrade on the U3s, and that was, I haven't thrown anything else at it. I really haven't. Yeah. So I understand where you're coming from, thinking that I have, but I really genuinely haven't. I mean, I didn't build the the other hull, the raid hull. That was the one to go in and prep and stuff like that.
The
Because I thought, I thought
Garbage.
Scoundrel, that's the one. Yeah, I thought I don't bloody need it. What's the point of it? You know what I mean? It's a one trick pony, and and I can get enough points with the fleet that I got. Because that one takes more damage and costs more than it does to do it slightly slower, but with your main fleet. So I don't see the value in it. I've don't get me wrong, I've got it and I've won it, but I don't see the value in it as such. Because it cost me more to get 2 million points using that than it would to get 2 million points just using the Dragoons, hitting 2 lots of sets, in the lower level below, So, right, yep, yes, I've just done a refresh and I've still only got 1 offer. So, yeah. But yeah, so I didn't buy the. I did get it, but I haven't built the Scoundrel because for me, I personally don't see the value in it. Unless it becomes really necessary in some stupid TLC later on.
Well, it'll probably end up being like the suppressor. Maybe it was okay for the first raid, and then the second one will just suck ass. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Well, before I pull the plug on this, does anybody else have any last minute stuff, or are we good to go? Going, gone. All right, guys. So, we're gonna jump off here. I'm gonna throw a Hangouts link up in the chat if you want to get on and hang out and just shoot shit for a while. I'm not sure how long I myself will be in there, but it'll be available for the rest of you guys to have some talk time. So let me go ahead and throw that in there now. But in the meantime, until next week, we'll see party people again later. Have fun. I'm sure a lot of you guys will have a lot of spare time because you're probably not going to be doing the event. So there you go. Yeah, I was going to say this week's or next week. So yeah, you're going to have lots of spare time. All of you guys will have a lot of spare time because you're probably not going to be doing. Well, what happened there? Somebody came unmuted. The event. So there you go. Yeah, I was saying this week's or next week. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot of spare time. So who took their mute off of their YouTube?
You? You're the one flashing.
It's not me. My YouTube's muted. I'm looking right at it.
It's you're the one that's talking on it.
Yeah, you're the one flashing up.
Yep. Anyway,
it's whoever's in the somebody in the Hangout is already in the Hangout and doesn't have it muted over there. That's the problem.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Ross, I can hear you.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll pull the plug on this. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
All
Bye.
right, later.
Good night.
good luck, guys. Good luck, guys.
Yes, Ross, I can hear.